Hey everybody, Grenton here. For those of you who are playing Dreadmyst, this is going to be the Barracks dungeon. So to go into the Barracks, you need the keys to the Barracks. It is a level 20 dungeon, and the keys drop from any of the mobs in the Candora's Castle or the Candora's Forecourt, which is the PvP zone. They have a pretty low chance to drop. People are selling them anywhere from like 10 to 15k. I wouldn't spend more than 15k on them. But essentially, yeah, this is a solo dungeon. Has a really good chance to drop holy gear. I haven't seen any godly pieces yet. I've probably run this dungeon about 15 times. And there's a bunch of people who asked me about my build. So I just wanted to kind of showcase the dungeon, give you some tips and tricks so you guys can do it yourself. I did this dungeon on stream earlier today with significantly worse gear. So it's definitely doable, at least on a Cleric. Probably on a Paladin as well, once you get a little bit better gear. But this is kind of what I'm running right now. My Cleric is melee Cleric, so I'm focusing on strength, melee crit, maces, stuff like that, and you'll kind of be able to see what's kind of going on when we jump in. Here are my stats as well. Obviously a ton of strength, a ton of melee crit, and 100 bartering, 100 lockpicking. Obviously something that's important. Shields at 400 and mace is at 291. So let's jump into it. This is going to be kind of a one-take video, so if it's a little garbage, I apologize. If people want to see kind of more in-depth version of my build, I can kind of do something for you guys as needed. I usually don't pick up much unless it's something I can sell in here. The rotation, so to speak, for melee cleric is pretty much just harrowing strike, your auto attack, and then you want to hit your smite pretty much whenever you want to stun someone. Smite also does pretty good damage. And Holy Bolt's really nice because it is an in-cap. It actually also acts as an interrupt. I try to keep my Blessed Shield and Rejuvenation on me as much as I can throughout the dungeon. This Shadow Bolt debuff is very annoying, so what I'll do is I'll just click off the target and I'll use my Dispel Magic. Same thing with the mages. They give themselves a buff that lets them hit you for more damage and take less damage, so doubly annoying. The dungeon, for the most part, is pretty easy. What I did notice while I was running the dungeon is there's some social aggro, but social aggro only seems to happen when you range pull them. If you kind of like walk up to a mob, unless you're in range of the other mob, it actually won't social aggro. But if I were, for example, use Plague to pull this mob and there was another mob that was near it, I noticed that it'll social pull and then that mob will also social pull. So you can kind of get into some like dicey 3-4 mob packs, which is definitely a little scary, at least at my current gear level, and I can only imagine people who can't heal themselves, probably a little scary as well. So I usually like to come down to the southern side first. There's a chest in the southeastern corner that I always like to hit. Has a chance of dropping some holy gear. I mean, every mob here has a chance to drop holy gear. The run before this, the two first mobs both dropped or each dropped a piece of holy gear. One dropped a pair of titanium plate pants. The other one dropped a bow. They weren't very great statted, but I still was able to sell the pants for 60k and the bow for I think it was 40k that I sold it for. So we're just gonna open this chest here. Nothing really great. Pop this mage real quick. Try to make some quick work of him. Obviously, as you can see, my harrowing strike hits pretty quickly. Just crit for 50 or quickly. It's pretty hard. Just crit for about 1500 there. Also, I do want to take a moment to talk about the game itself and the market right now, at least on, I mean, I was going to say on my server, but there's only one server. So as you can see here, I just social pulled them all. That's a little unfortunate, but as a cleric, I have access to Satanic Madness, which is an AoE fear. You always want to focus the mages down first, by the way, when you pull more than one, because those mages, at least when you're a cleric, those mages absolutely truck, especially if you have, like, I have 3 stacks of the Shadow Bolt debuff on me, so another Shadow Bolt would have probably hit me for probably close to my health bar if I had to guess. So I'm just gonna check the mobs here. I'm gonna Desperate Pair actually instead of a sit down to eat, since Desperate Pair has a shorter cooldown. But as I was saying before I pulled the entire dungeon, I've noticed a lot of people, you can see it here, are selling stuff for quite a bit less than what I would expect to sell for. So for those of you who don't know, the shops in the town, they rotate. So there's not always the same gear in the shop, and shops are unique. So your shop will be different than my shop. And that's kind of interesting because when you're playing with a group of people, you know, your staff and, or sorry, your, you know, axe and mace merchant might have a really, really good mace for me, but really bad for you. So it's always super important that when you're playing with friends to let them know, like, hey, you know, the shop has this. Do you need it? Stuff like that. The difference is what I'm seeing with the market is people are selling, like I got this necklace for 10K. I got this helmet. It was a drop. This shield was 150K, which I think that's fair because on the, if you get it from the merchant, it's like 270K for holy pieces. And for jewelry, like that necklace, if it was on the merchant and not on, if it was on the merchant and not from a player, I would have probably had to pay like 190K, but the player sold it for 10K. So, I mean, I don't really mind that, you know, it's, people are selling it for cheaper because I'm still selling my stuff for the price that I want. So it's really not the end of the world. I need to dispel myself. Yeah, as you can see, I just took a ton of damage from the mage because he was able to stack a bunch of Shadow Bolt debuffs on me. So I'm just going to clean this up here. But yeah, just kind of know what your stuff's worth. Godly weapons and godly... so godly being purple rarity. Godly weapons and godly armor pieces usually sell for over 1 million gold on the merchant. So I, like... My buddy picked up a pair of godly titanium pants, or titanic pants, or whatever it's called, like the plate pants, that had insane stats. I think it was strength, courage, and melee crit, which is like really, really good. Unfortunately, I was gonna buy them off him, but unfortunately, I can't. Oh no, I'm gonna get rolled back probably. I was gonna buy them off him, but unfortunately, I can't. I don't have 300 strength on my cleric, so I can't use it. But he bought them for 100K. Those are easily like 500,000 gold pants if that guy was just patient and like decided to sell them like to somebody who they wanted to. So anyways, that's my rant on the market. The game itself is really fun. It's super simple. As you can see, I'm just kind of breezing through the dungeon. I like to go through, like I mentioned, the south first, and then to come up here, restarting in 100,000 minutes. Okay, well, you guys, my next lifetime. I like to do that because it lets me hit both of these. Servo is not meant to trigger a restart. Oh, perfect. Oh, there we go. So there, an insane belt for tanks. I mean, actually, strength agi is probably not bad for me as well. But there we go. You just got a belt. My current belt is strength intelligence. So like this is something actually I could wear. If that's an increased like mace skill or melee crit, that belt would be absolutely insane. I could probably sell this belt for close to 80 to 100K to a tank, because that's a pretty good belt. So obviously this is a very good gold farm because you can find keys between like 10 and 15K. If I was really desperate, I'd probably spend 20K on the keys because I usually make at least my money's worth just by like just by vendoring like stuff that I get. I usually will do a last pass through because the mobs don't despawn here, so I'll do a last pass through after I kill the boss. And then I'll be able to just kind of go fill my bags, go back to town, sell, and kind of do it over and over again. Game's pretty fun. I'm obviously interested to see kind of how the end game is. I haven't done the group dungeon yet. I haven't done the second dungeon. So this boss drops a depleted key. And that depleted key, you merge it with something that drops in the level 25 plus zone. And then you have a key to another solo dungeon that I haven't tried yet. So, all right. So we're at Sarlocke the Betrayer. He's the last boss, or the only boss, I should say, of this dungeon. He stands next to a gold strongbox that requires 96 lockpicking. So make sure that your lockpicking is at least 96. It caps at 100. I just got it to 100 because I think that's going to be worth it. I usually scroll up here, so I'll just pop every scroll that I can in my inventory just to kind of have some buffs. And then what I'll do is I'll go and fight him. So I might not talk a lot during the fight, so I want to explain a bit of what the fight is. He has two castable skills. One is a lesser heal that if you can interrupt, you can. It heals him for about like 5% of his health. It's nothing too crazy. But his big thing is called, I don't know if it's Eternal Flame or Sacred Flame. That will one-shot you. It one-shots me at 3,400 health. I will probably one-shot everybody, including paladins. So you need to absolutely interrupt that. You can use anything to interrupt. Satanic Madness interrupts if you're a cleric. Holy Bolt interrupts if you're a cleric. Smite interrupts if you're a cleric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pop my shield, pop my renew, pull him with Plague, and then pop my damage buff here. and we'll start things off. I usually like to weave in some heals as we go, and I always try to keep my shield on as I can. Some big crits here. So there's the heal. I'm going to interrupt it. And then he's going to cast, after the heal, he always casts the flame skill. So see Greater Flame here. I'm going to fear him. Usually I like to let him stay feared so I can heal myself, but my health is looking really good right now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold. I don't know if that was a dummy flame. Or sorry, dummy heal or not. Sometimes he'll pop a heal and he won't do a flame afterwards. So I like to kind of keep my my interrupts ready. And there's a shield. Boom. So I got 2 pieces of holy gear from this run. Obviously, this shield probably can sell to a tank. Strength, Courage, and Meditate's really good. Meditate, for those of you who don't know, gives you mana recovery during combat. So this is actually a really good starter shield for tanks who hit level 25. And I got the, wherever it is, this here. So I got like 2 pieces of tank gear that I could probably sell for like 50k a pop. So this run just made me 100k. And we haven't even opened the lockbox yet. So let's see what's in here. Nothing too crazy, it looks like. We'll still just take it all. And we'll head out. So, yeah, this is the abandoned barracks. Again, you need the keys to go in. And if you guys have any questions about my build, have any questions about the dungeon itself, if you're having trouble with it, you can find me live on Twitch almost every day at twitch.tv/knockrenton. Or you can join my Discord, which I'll have hopefully linked in the YouTube description. And if you guys want to see more Dreadmyst content, let me know. It's been a really fun game to stream so far, so I have no issue making more content. But again, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, help the algorithm push this out to more people. And as always, stay safe, kiss your pets, pet your family. See you next time.